Hey guys, welcome back to Automation eLearn. In this video, I'm going to talk about GitHub.dev feature. So guys, normally to make any changes in your code on GitHub, you either clone the repository on local and make changes or open the editor directly on GitHub to make the changes, right? But what if I'll tell you that you can open your file or the whole project on the code editor on the browser directly on GitHub. Like this. Here I have opened my GitHub project on Visual Studio Code Editor on the browser on GitHub. You can notice the URL. Here I can access all the files, make changes, not only make changes, but from here I can commit, push the changes to the GitHub and create PR and can perform many other actions directly using this code editor which is on GitHub. So this is what we are going to discuss in this video. I will explain how to access this editor directly on GitHub and access the project, edit the files and perform all other actions to commit the changes in your repository. So guys, Microsoft has introduced this feature called GitHub.dev. We can see this in the URL. To access this feature, you must be signed in on github.com. Then only you will be able to use this feature. So GitHub.dev is a web-based code editor that allows developers to write, edit and preview their code directly in their web browser, exactly like what we are seeing right now. And this we can use without switching between different tools or applications. This feature GitHub.dev is built using open source Monaco editor, which is also used in Microsoft Visual Studio Code. It supports a variety of programming languages including Java, JavaScript, Python, Ruby and etc. One of the main advantages of using GitHub.dev is that it is tightly integrated with github.com. Like again we can see we are still referring GitHub URL, right? Which means you can easily access your repository, create files, commit changes, fork or create a pull request directly from here, from this editor. It also provides features like syntax highlighting, auto completion and debugging, which is very useful if you want to make any changes without cloning the repository on local. And GitHub.dev, this editor runs entirely in your browser sandbox. The editor does not clone the repository, but instead use the GitHub extension to carry out the most of the functionality that you will use. Your work is saved in the browser local storage until you commit it. So this feature is completely on your browser, which is possible by using GitHub extension, and using that extension we can browse the whole repository and we can make changes accordingly. So let's understand this editor and all the action that we can perform here. So here for demo purpose I'm using git repository git reset, which is under Suresh Dubey account. And here if I'll press dot on my keyboard, it will open GitHub dev editor and your project will automatically be opened in this code editor, which is nothing but a Visual Studio Code browser version, but that is still on GitHub. Again we can verify this from the URL. And here notice the URL, it's the same URL, like still I have Suresh Dubey account. I can see the repository name, but here instead of github.com, now we are on github.dev. So here just the difference is that instead of .com, here we are using .dev. It means if we change the URL manually, then also we can open this editor. Let's give a try. So we are back to GitHub repository, and which is github.com, Suresh Dubey, git reset. Let's change com to dev. And we switch to dev feature, which is nothing but a code editor. Okay, so here my project is automatically loaded. I can see all the files and folders, and I can browse all the files and make changes accordingly. Okay, so here let's try to perform some action. Let's make some changes. So to do so, let's create a new branch. So here at the bottom left hand side, we are seeing the branch as a master. Click on this and select the branch from here, from this palette. Either we can select some other branch which are already present, already created, or we can create a new branch. So let's create new branch over here. Let's say 15, feature 15, and select create new branch. Okay, yes, we want to switch to this branch. And you can notice this in the URL. We are on feature 15 feature branch. Okay, so let's make some changes. So let's go to abc.txt and let's make some changes over here. For example, I want to add a new line here. So added new line from GitHub.dev editor. Okay, this is what I want to add in abc.txt in feature 15 feature branch. To commit the changes, again, if you notice here, we have a source control option, and if we click on this, so here it lists down the files which got modified. So here abc.txt I can see, and from here we can use this plus option to stage the changes. So currently my file abc.txt is on working area, and if I'll use this plus icon, now that is stage, that is a part of staging area. And from here either I can move it back to working area, or I can commit and push the changes. So let's give a commit message. So I'm giving this as a commit message and commit and push. I have modified this file and I commit and I push to feature 15. So now I'm done with my changes on feature 15 branch, and let's create a pull request to merge this branch into some other branch. So to do so, again you can use this option, create pull request, under source control tab, and if we click on this, it will open the editor where you can select all the options like which branch you want to merge into which branch. So here currently we are on this repository and we are on feature 15, right? And we want to merge feature 15 into this repository, and you can select all the branches over here. Let's say I want to merge in feature 7. You can select any feature branch from here. Typically when we create a pull request, it is for master, but for now let's select any one of the other feature branches. And here title and description, if you want, you can give. And here you can also see what are the files, and if you select this file, you can also see the changes so that you can compare it. And create pull request. So once pull request is created, here at the left hand side you can see one more tab, one more icon, which is for pull request. And here your pull request details are already open. So this is pull request number 4. Suresh Dubey wants to merge changes into feature 7 from feature 15. So I want to merge feature 15 into feature 7. And here we get all the options that we generally get on github.com pull request. Like I can assign reviewer, and I can add a labels and milestone. I can put some comment over here, etc. Okay. And to see the changes, here from the left hand side you can select the files and you can see the changes. Like earlier it was like this, and at the right hand side we can see the new changes. So now let's go to pull request, and let's say approval is already there, and I can merge. So click on this merge pull request, and here we are getting a more options like how you want to merge, whether do you want to create a merge commit or not. I can squash and merge like whatever commits I have. Let's say I made 10 commits, but while merging I don't want all 10 commits to be the part of the commit history. So I can squash all those 10 into one and merge, or you can rebase and merge. So let's go for squash and merge, and merge pull request, squash and merge. So yes, my pull request status is now merged, which is in feature 7. Let's go and verify. So we will verify from the dev editor here, and we will also go and verify the same changes from github.com. So let's select feature 7, let it load, and we will see abc.txt file where we made changes. And here we can see this new line is present over here. And from here, let's go and change it to github.com. So I'm changing the URL, and I'm on github.com, git reset repository, and on feature 7, right? And from here also we can select, but feature 7 is already selected, and we'll go and see abc.txt. So this is the change, and we can see all the details like this is the user, this is the commit ID, this is the pull request number, this is the commit ID and all. And if I'll open this pull request, so you can see all the details that we were seeing on dev editor, and we can see the changes over here. And this feature, this dev editor, is very useful when you notice, like, you need to make a small changes, but you don't want to do it directly on github.com, open the file, edit the file and make changes, because there we normally we don't get code highlighting and other features, right? If you know exactly what you need to change, then you can use this feature, you can make the changes, and you can commit it to your required branch. So this would be very fast and quick way to make changes instead of cloning the repository on local and using any editor on your local, right? Here I am again on github.dev editor, and this editor also support Visual Code extensions that have been specifically created and updated to run in the web. So here we are using browser version of Visual Studio Code, right? Which is anyways, we also have a desktop version of this, and on desktop version also we get tons of extension, right? But here for web also, for web version also, we can see the lot of extensions. Here if you click on extensions icon, we can see the extension which are specifically designed for web version, okay? And that is the reason these extensions are known as a web extensions. So on the web, not all the extensions that are available for Visual Studio Code will run. For example, if I'll search for sonar lint, then you can see this is not designed, this is not updated to use on the web editor, okay? This we can only use in the desktop version of Visual Studio, but there are a lot of extension that we can use. We can see in the list, all these are available. This was all about how to access this feature, how to access dev editor on GitHub, and how to use it, how to perform all the actions. I would also like to share few troubleshooting steps. If you are not able to open this editor, then you can try, like, first of all you need to make sure that you are signed in github.com. So if you are not signed in, you cannot use this editor. Another thing that you can try is you need to disable the ad blocker. So many a times if ad blocker is enabled, then also it creates a problem in accessing this editor, dev editor. And third thing you can try is you can use private window or incognito window in your browser to open github.dev. So these are few troubleshooting steps which you can follow if you face any issue while accessing this editor. And there are couple of known limitations which are specifically mentioned, highlighted by GitHub on their doc page. So first of all, this editor is currently supported on all the major browsers like Chrome, which is Chromium based browser, Edge, Firefox and Safari. So it is always recommended to use the latest version of these browsers to access github.dev feature. And in the beginning I told, like, once we are on github.com, we can press dot on the keyboard, it will open. But if it doesn't open by pressing dot on the keyboard, then you can also change the URL. Instead of com, use dev and you can access this editor. Alright guys, that's all for this editor, github.dev editor, and I'm using this feature on day-to-day basis. It's very useful and it's very quick way to make the changes. I hope you have learned something new today from this video. Please reach out to me if you have any doubts or any questions. Please subscribe to the channel to learn many other concepts and features. Thank you for running this one. Thank you.